feeling of great triumph and victory.
Let the truth be told. Want the truth, you came to the right show. Talk to me, tell me what's going on. Alan and DJ, we talk about back in the day to up to date. And you know it's nothing but love and no hate. FD Reese, it was the okay. Okay, let's go. Welcome to the Lineage Show. Okay, let's go. The Lineage.
From the front line of that march, to my left, march Jose Williams holding his ball. I march next to him. This is King march next to him. Dr. King march next to her. On the way to the Capitol, to hear Dr. King make that speech that day. I sat on that platform, looked out over that sea of humanity, and I had a feeling of great triumph and victory. After having gone through all of the indignities, all the sacrifices, not all seemed
Welcome to the Lineage Podcast. Welcome, everybody. It's great Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday, however you want to look at it. Hope everybody's doing great. We're through the middle of the week, y'all. We're through the middle of the week.
Hump day.
Yeah, hump day. It's a great day.
A wind down Wednesday.
Yeah, wind down Wednesday. We're going to wind down. We're going to wind it up on the Lineage Podcast. Look, we appreciate everybody that's been supporting us and joining us, and every Wednesday coming in and lending their comments and their opinions and mindset. Well, we really appreciate it. Y'all know how I start every show, how we start every show. If you don't have Selma's Self-Sacrifice, please get the book. It is on Amazon, Selma's Self-Sacrifice. It's a great read. It's the autobiography of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, written by himself and Miss Kathy Walters. So you please need to get that book. It's a great read. It's a great read. You don't want to not have this book in your collection, especially to my readers. You really want to get this book. So it goes through F.D. Reese's whole life. If you haven't booked the F.D. Reese historical tour, please book it. It's on Viator and TripAdvisor. You already know what time it is. We go to every site that our grandfather impacted, Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese, as far as the voting rights movement. And when we tell the significance of each place, we start at the home, which is a historical site in the state of Alabama. It's a great tour. We're adding things, and we got a lot of great things coming up. We're implementing in the tour. So please govern yourselves accordingly with that. If you do not have any F.D. Reese apparel, www.historyonapparel.com. We have shirts and socks and book bags and all of that. So it's great to have. We like to see people in their apparel. So we appreciate that. Also, we are on the library tour, the Artifacts Library Tour. I hit our president up to see. I think we're in the Atlanta Public Library this Saturday coming up for the library tour. And I want to say it's from 2 to 6, if I'm not mistaken. Anastasia will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Please do so, and I will let y'all know. But I want to say it's Atlanta Public Library. I don't have the address or anything, but I'll make sure I get that to y'all before the end of the show. And the Artifacts Library tour has been great, man. Kids have been coming out, adults have been coming out and learning the history that they've never heard before, and seeing artifacts that they've never seen before. Touch what I never touched before, seen what I've
never seen before.
Woke up and seen the sun sky high. What y'all know about that good amount? Yeah, so that's what we've been doing on the Artifacts Library tour. It's been great showing artifacts and pieces of history that no one has ever seen before. And so we're honored to have that into our possession. And we appreciate y'all that's been coming out and joining with us. Also, we had an event. We went to Narva J. Harris school, which is my daughter's school that she goes to, and they had a fall festival. It was great. Mr. Voting Rights was there. My daughter was singing in the chorus. She's in the chorus. It was a great event. You had other vendors there. Mr. Voting Rights took a couple of pictures with people, and I want to show those right quick.
Oh, you got some?
Yeah, these are just a couple of pictures with some of the business owners. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get these business on the show. We're gonna contact them and tag them on Instagram and Facebook from the foundation page, and try to have them as guests. One thing we like to do is we like to promote Black businesses, especially if they are handling Black business as it should be handled. We like to promote that, get them on the show and get them some shine, man, because sometimes we'll get in. Check this out. My nephew in the picture with, I want to say that's his art teacher?
Yeah, his art teacher.
His art teacher. Yeah, AJ art teacher and Mr. Voting Rights here. So it was a great day. It was a great day at Narva J. Harris over the weekend. So we really appreciate everybody, the whole team that came out and joined with us. But y'all already know what time it is. First Nurse Kimberly Reese. She's always doing First Nurse things, but we are glad to have her always live in the studio whenever she can stay home and not be in the field. So y'all already know what time it is. First Nurse Kimberly Reese gonna come with our health segment of the day of this week. So y'all don't go nowhere. So we will be right back. And me and bro got a couple of nice topics that we're gonna talk about, centered around parenting. So all my parents, get your minds in order and your opinions ready, and we're gonna talk about that. So we'll be right back. 30 seconds. We'll be right back. First Nurse Kimberly Reese. Going on?
EMJ, how you doing?
What's going on, Kim? Glad to have you here.
Yes, I'm here, live in the flesh. Yes. Happy Wellness Wednesday, everyone.
There you go. What you got for us today?
Yes. I am coming to give you your First Nurse health information and health tips. I'm going to start with the first slide. According to the Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion, the week of November, the month of November has 3 major health observations. As I mentioned earlier this month and last week, November is known for diabetes awareness and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease awareness. So this week, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the third health awareness, and it is antibiotic awareness. So according to the Office of Disease Prevention and Health.gov, November 18th through the 24th marks U.S. Antibiotic Awareness Week. And if you go to the next page, I think it's the one before, maybe.
Before that, hold on.
Yeah.
No, you got that one. You got that one. That one.
Then the next one.
3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't that one.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and just talk about it. I'll freestyle it. So It's an opportunity to raise awareness about antibiotic resistance and the importance of how people use antibiotics. You can get involved by sharing the Center of Disease Control Prevention antibiotic awareness partner toolkit. And on the blue screens, it's a toolkit. It talks about the B antibiotic aware partner toolkit has messages for contents for us, the patients and civilians, on how you safely use antibiotic. So most of us know that antibiotic can save lives when the patient needs antibiotic, and the benefits outweigh the risks and the side effects and the antimicrobial resistance. So when you need antibiotics, it's a must. It saves lives. It prevents it treats infection. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. So November 18th through the 24th marks U.S. Antibiotic Awareness Week. It's an opportunity to raise awareness about antibiotic resistance and the importance of proper antibiotic use. Get involved by sharing the Center of Disease Control Prevention's Be Antibiotic Aware Partner Toolkit, which has messages, social media content, and other resources related to antibiotic safety. Be sure to check out our My Health Finder resource on using medication safely and preventing infections when getting medical care. And on the next screen, so antibiotics, as we know, it can save lives. Antibiotics do not treat viruses like those such as cold, flu, and RSVs and COVID-19. Antibiotics are only needed for certain types of infections caused by bacteria, but even some bacteria infections can get better without using antibiotics. An antibiotic will not make you feel better if you have a virus. So again, remember you guys, if you have a virus, it will not work because antibiotic only treats bacterial infections. When antibiotics aren't needed, they won't help you, and the side effects could still cause harm. And on the next screen. So if you need antibiotics, take them exactly as prescribed. Talk with your healthcare professional if you have any questions about your antibiotics. Talk with your healthcare professional if you develop any side effects, especially severe diarrhea. That can be a sign of C. diff, and you will also need treatment for that. Do your best to stay healthy and keep others safe. This helps reduce antibiotic use and fights antimicrobial resistance. Clean your hands by washing them with soap and water at least 20 seconds or using a hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Cover your coughs and sneeze with a tissue and stay at home if you feel sick. Avoid close contacts with people who are sick. Give recommended vaccinations such as flu or COVID-19 vaccinations. That's according to the CDC. If you need antibiotics, take them exactly as prescribed. And remember, antibiotics aren't always the answer. I remember doing the show, I say it was a while ago, at least 6 months ago. It was a segment that talked about how we can use food as medicine. And on the next screen, I have examples on what we can use as medicines, food as medicine. So instead of using antibiotic medication for mild cold or flus, we can take the natural route. Use foods that have antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral properties all in one, such as garlic, ginger, honey, oregano, turmeric, and citrus fruits such as lemons. So my recommendation and my tip for today, if you just have a mild cold, I wouldn't just be so quick to run and try to get antibiotics. I would at least doctor on myself with the ginger, the lemon, the turmeric as a natural route. And if you continue to get worse, that's when you want to seek out medications. So that's all I have for you.
We appreciate First Nurse Kimberly Reese once again dropping us with the health jewels. Y'all please take heed to everything she's saying. And I didn't know, and what you say antibiotics only treat, did you say bacteria?
They only treat virus. If you have a virus, they only treat bacterial infection. They don't treat viral infection. If you have a virus, it will not work.
See, look at that. I didn't know that. So here we go. So we appreciate First Nurse Kimberly Reese. Listen, don't go nowhere. We will be right back. Me and bro got a couple of topics, like I said, for your parents. Y'all help us discuss this and we'll keep it moving. So we'll be right back on the Lineage Podcast. In this life, you can't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. Don't go through life, grow through life.
Sometimes the sun may seem to fade away. Don't cry, I promise there'll be better days. I know we get stuck, keep praying for some moonlight. And when things go left, it seems like they won't get right. No, dig deep in your soul and try to make a change. Plant your feet on the ground, you'll never be the same. Feed and water your mind, wisdom will show. And now your seed is sown. That's when it's time to
That's right. That's right. Welcome back to the Lineage Podcast.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now, like I said, this show, we got a couple of topics that center around parenting, but we want to kind of segue into it from a video of what a lady said about being a mother, not a wife. So the topic is: do all adults deserve the right to be a parent? All the adults deserve the right to be a parent. So this first clip is we entitled "Mother Only, No Wife." So I want y'all to watch this video, and then of course I know what y'all gonna do. Leave your comments and your personal if you kind of agree with her or you disagree with her, we can discuss it right now. So watch it.
I'll be a mom before I'll be a wife.
Really? That is very interesting.
Wow. I just rather cater to a child than
a husband.
And when you're a wife,
You don't need to get
no, but when you just think when you're a wife, you're a mom. You still have to find time to be yourself, and I'd rather just find time to be a mom and just be myself as of right now.
Okay.
And
well, I get it.
It's just I'd rather be a mom right now. So
that's a very interesting point of view.
Yeah.
No, I get the take. I respect the take a lot. But I'm not.
Just an agreement. That's a little video. Do you agree or disagree with her? I never. One thing I never do is tell a person how to feel. You'll never hear me tell a person how to feel. But I really don't know how to feel about that. Because if she doesn't want to be a wife, that's understandable. But I read somewhere that the best thing that parents can do for their child is to show them a healthy marriage. So I'm a little bit taken back from it. I mean, it's a she came direct with it. She said she doesn't, but she did say right now. I just disagree with the order because I can speak personally. I've had children before I got married, and it can be tough. It really can be tough. So I know it's people out there that's in my position that have had children before they got married and know how difficult it can be, because being a parent can already be tough, but then also trying to coexist and co-parent with someone that you aren't under the same roof. You may have different ways of life and different opinions of how to handle children. Then the emotions of your relationship that may have failed can come in between you properly raising your child and things of that nature. So I know how all of that can be, and I'm not putting blame on one side or the other. But when she said this is the part where I kind of struggle with, when she said she'd rather cater to a child than a husband. That's why I kind of like, okay, I can't ride with that. If you don't want to be a wife, cool. And if you desire to be a mother and not a wife, do I completely agree with that? No. But I'm not going to knock you for what you want out of life. But your reasoning behind it, I'd rather cater to a child than a husband, because that tells me, and I've always said this, being a wife, and I'm not a wife. I can only speak from a husband. Being a wife and a mother is two different things. Being a mother, you can be wrong and still be right. And hear what I'm saying about that. You can tell your child, you did not do the dishes last night. And even though they did the dishes and they prove they did the dishes, even when you are proved to be wrong, you can still tell that child, well, go to your room, or whatever the case is. You don't have to be held accountable to your wrong decisions or your wrong point of view to a child. But when you are a wife and you are wrong, you may blame your husband or something for something that he didn't do or you didn't say, or whatever the case is. You have to come with a different level of reverence when you have been proven wrong. You can't just say, well, husband, just be quiet because I said so. You have to, it's a whole different mindset and a whole different person you have to be. When I'm just using that one thing as an example. So that's my take on it. I'm not going to knock her for what she feels and what she wants out of life. I just disagree with the order, and I disagree with her reasoning behind it. That's me.
That's you. Well, I'm gonna knock her.
Okay.
You see, I got my preaching towel right now.
Mm-hmm.
When pastors get in the pulpit, they start talking, they start wiping their face. They got something to say. These are this mindset is reason why our community is donkey backwards right now.
Okay.
Like you said, I agree with you. The words cater. You should never cater to a child.
Mm.
And what happens is, MJ, is that the reason why it's backwards, and I'm going to tell you this reason why. The main reason, she said, I'd rather be a mother than a wife right now. So
Right.
what happens when you find a husband, you marry him, and he's ready to discipline that child that you've been catering to?
Mm.
That's going to cause a rift between you and him.
Right.
Because I tell my wife this all the time. She love AJ
Yeah.
and Faith. That's true. And the only person that can discipline them like I discipline them is me. A certain type of way. That's natural, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you suppose now we don't make. I'm not judging anyone. I can knock a mindset and not judge a person. We all have fallen short. And we're all sinful. What I'm saying is, this is why marriage becomes before children. Because when you're married, you build a foundation and a structure that's preparing you for the children, MJ.
Correct.
You build a relationship, a bond, an understanding between each other before you bring a child in this world. If you do it the other way, you are fighting an uphill battle, because automatically you feel like this is my child and you're getting us as a package deal. So now he has to accept the way you treat this child. He got to maneuver around this child. Say, I'll maneuver around my kids because me and my wife was married before we had kids.
Mm-hmm.
They maneuver around us. It's what we say is what they do. I don't have to go to Kim and say, look, I know this is your child, but he's doing this or she's doing that, and he needs discipline. No, I go and discipline him myself.
Correct.
So that mindset has to change, MJ. She needs to, what needs to happen is men and women, I'm just not talking about women, but since this is a lady, I'm talking about her. She has to reevaluate her mindset. It's not about her. See, that's the thing. Even when you're raising kids, it's not about you. Take your feelings, take self out the center. Figure out what's best for the family before you even think about getting married. And this is what people got to understand. Think about what's best for the family. What's best for the family is you and your husband have the best relationship before you bring a child in this world.
And I'll play, because at the end of the interview, I seen pretty much the whole thing. That was a clip. She was saying that, and I've heard women say this though. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That when you're a wife and a mother, and you can get lost, you I guess the responsibility is so demanding that you can lose yourself in it.
Okay.
And I've heard women say this. So what I would want to know is I've heard single women say this and married women.
Okay.
So do you think they're saying that she is saying that? I heard the cater, but what if a woman said she's saying that out of fear that she would have to, now her responsibilities are heightened? Because when you have both titles, we're talking about, because we know majority of the time the mothers and the wives do more of the day-to-day caring, majority of the time. Now you have your instances where it's not that way.
Okay.
So is some of that fear that some women may have, is it justifiable?
Is it justified, the fear they have they might lose themselves?
They don't want both titles, so they'd rather choose one.
Well, I would say this is their decision making working for them, because what I do hear a lot of women say, they're tired of being with deadbeat fathers. I hear more women say, talk about deadbeat fathers who not paying child support, not taking care of their kids, having all these kids, this and that, and more than I hear women making a choice of, I might get lost in the marriage and being a wife and a mother. What I'm saying is, in this world, a decision got to be made.
Right.
You got to pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at things and say, okay, it's only a two-way street in this. Either I'm going to be a wife or I'm going to be a single mother. Which one got the most pros and cons?
Right.
Husband, wife, 2 incomes, working together, got someone to grow old with, building together, learning each other, someone sincerely loves you. Okay, you're gonna have ups and downs. That's
Correct.
life. Ups and
Correct.
downs happen.
Correct.
Falls and hills and valleys and everything that happens.
All of that.
Then you look at the other side. Okay, I could be a single mother. Now I might marry a man. I might find a man that will have a baby with me. Might start out good, but then he might lose his job and get ghosted.
Right.
Now you're stuck by yourself raising this child.
Mm-hmm.
Not only you stuck by yourself, now you are scarred. You get what I'm saying? Now there's trust is gonna build up trust issues and all this. And when another man come in, how you know you're not gonna do me like the other dude who left me with this baby? What I'm saying is, it's better to build a relationship with a person.
Mm-hmm.
Evaluate yourself, reevaluate yourself, take self out the center and build something with a husband or a wife that's sustainable, that you can go through this roller coaster called life, but be successful in it instead of just trying to do it on your own, because you're flipping the coin when you're doing it on your own, MJ.
You're 100% right. Now I agree with you. I was playing devil's advocate, but I 100% agree with you. But I'll speak from a place of experience, because, like I said, I've been in both positions.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, not as like a single mother, because the child majority of the time would live with the mother.
That's right.
But I can say, I'll just use my single experience, when I was single and I had a daughter and was on child support and all of that, it was much tougher. When I got married,
I'm sorry.
It made it easier to withstand those struggles that it took financially, because most of the time men, we take, when things like that happen, we take the burn of it in the finance department. And me and Charlene are married, and she had a child when we got together. So we can see both sides. And I will say,
before you move on, it's another thing that we're not looking at in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
How many homes and relationships, of not just homes, but relationships that are broken because of one-sided story?
Right. That's why I was finna go. Right.
One-sided story.
Correct.
We know so many times that mother has told child, daddy don't pay child support, then daddy come back and show them, I've been paying child support since the beginning. So not only I've seen, you take the marriage lane, but the single lane has so much dysfunction, MJ.
Correct.
It has so much dysfunction that it takes a lifetime to heal, to forgive, to all this, because we decided to take the wrong route of thinking about self and thinking, I just want to raise a child, than being a husband or a wife. And so many lies have been told because you mad at that person because that person moved on or whatever didn't happen. You mad, so then you take it out and you put things in that child that makes their relationship with the other parent, it makes it dysfunctional.
Right.
And so we have to think about that, bro. We got to think about that.
Yeah, you're right.
So I knock on that. And I knock on it because, MJ, I'm sorry, as a minister, it is our job to tell the truth in the word. Mm-hmm. Okay. And going by the word, that is not right. So many times today we tend to lighten it up and not make it as strong and give you good itchy ear sermons, but it's the truth. It is wrong to have that mindset and think that you're going to continue to be successful in that. It's a clone. Now look, sometimes you flip that coin, it come out good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a flip, MJ.
That's a flip. Yeah, it's a risk and a gamble. Before we go to the next topic, it's Louise Watley Library at Southeast Atlanta. That's 1463 Pryor Road, Atlanta, Georgia 30315. It is from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. That is the next library tour location. It is this Saturday at Louise Watley Library in Southeast Atlanta, Pryor Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 1463 Pryor Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30315, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. See y'all there, the Library of Art of Facts tour. So yeah, I agree with you, bro. Now let's go to this next topic. Now this one here, man. This tough. Let's just look at the video and then we'll go from there. Jesus.
MJ, field day with this.
I know one thing you're gonna say: gangster rap has destroyed. I know you're going with that.
It is the first thing outside of racism that happened to the black community, outside of slavery and everything. Is gangster rap. Look at that, man.
It's a few things that's wrong with this video. Of course, the music playing in the background. I don't know what birthday. The boy in the front probably look about 6 or 7 years old. If y'all couldn't see, they had piles of money, a couple of piles of money on the table and toy guns on the table, and the boys were dancing in the form of counting the money and flashing the guns. Last week we also talked about the boy that was rapping and cursing, and I must say, this is why I put Toxic Dad's video go viral, because we understand that single motherhood is in our community. We get it, but let's keep it 1,000. These dads that is perpetuating gangster mindsets to the children to try to stay relevant and young. They don't know it is damaging our young men. It's also damaging our young women. But let's stay on this video. To see the men behind the boys celebrating this is sickening, man. It's sickening. Those dads need to be called out. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why we continue to do this with our culture. It's just I was a loss for words. I was trying to think of what to say as I was loading the video about an hour ago, and I'm lost for words, man. It's one thing for grown-ups to party to the gangster and all, and I can go on and on all day about that, but to put it on the kids, man, young men, it's just the young boys, it's ridiculous to me. I really ain't. I'm lost for words with that, man.
Well, I would say this. I'm not lost for words. I would say this: accountability, MJ. And I got to go here, and I might get some pushback from men when this clip to share. We talk about. I see a lot of videos talking about women accountability. What's the word we always use? They have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
I'm finna get on the men, and I'm gonna lay it on thick. We are the reason why our community is like it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna blame women.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame men. And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the word and say this because I got to. When God, he said, when God created man, he created man. When he got done, he breathed life into him, and man became a living being, a living soul. And then God put man in charge, and he had all the animals.
Mhm.
And Adam recognized. Make a long story short, Adam recognized that the animals had they had a pair, and God recognized that really kind of hurt Adam.
Mhm.
And you know the story. God put Adam to sleep. He didn't create another being from the dust and breathe life into him. What he did, he put Adam to sleep and brought woman out of us.
Mhm.
So God made it woman our responsibility. And the reason I know that is because remember, when the serpent convinced Eve to eat of the fruit from the tree, when she did it, God didn't come looking for no one. See, what we got to understand, woman could have ate of the tree, and if Adam never did it, we would still be in the Garden of Eden.
Mhm.
I'm going to bring it home on this somewhere.
Mhm.
But because Adam ate of the fruit of the tree, that's what made God come down and look for Adam, and Adam said he was naked. And God said, "How you know you was naked?"
Mhm.
And then that's when he said, "You will surely die." Then he punished. He said, "Man, you are worse." Then he told the woman, "It will hurt for you to have to bear
Yeah,
kids.
sure.
Serpent, he'll crawl on his belly."
Mhm.
So that shows that man was responsible, and we continue today to move and blame the woman for what's going on in our community when we're not looking at each other saying you are wrong, you are the problem, and men like this is the problem. MJ,
Facts.
they are the problem. It's not until men stand up and be men and take control over their boys and how they're raising their kids, we as a community are not gonna move forward. And that's just the truth, MJ. And I mean from every aspect. And you know, I was riding today, and the Holy Spirit gave me something to say, and I'm glad we're talking about this. He said unrealistic expectations. We talk about women unrealistic expectations, but men have unrealistic expectations too because we don't guard our eyes. And what I mean, you see these boys out here with these guns and this money, boy. You got other boys who not guarding that we as parents, we're talking about accountability, deserving the right to be parents. What I'm looking at, we don't deserve to be parents because we're not letting our kids guard their eyes. We're allowing them to be in situations, and we're putting them in situations that develop in the spirit in them that as they grow, they can't control.
Mm-hmm.
And it's feeding them. It's just like even with the physical, with the women.
Mm-hmm.
It's a time that in our time we talk about. I know we always talk about it, and I see on Instagram and Facebook people always talk about that men, we are natural hunters, and we are, MJ. Mm-hmm. We're natural hunters, but it's our job. We got boys. It's our job to do something that not even our fathers did because we live in a different age. We got to be more vocal about guarding our kids' eyes, MJ. We still come out deserving to be a parent because what does that mean today? We can't allow our kids to feed that natural instinct to, especially our boys, to be to go out of the flush. And what I mean, I'm gonna start with the flush. We got to not allow our kids to look at porno. We got to stop allowing our little boys and thinking it's okay to look at certain Instagram models because guess what it's doing? It's feeding a spirit, bro. Mm-hmm. What happens is as they get older, they can't control it. And as we continue to feel that natural instinct, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And after a while, they're struggling.
Yeah, and you're right, and I think we have to have more conversations around it. I think the problem is another problem is it's more natural for boys to go a certain way, but we kind of just say that's natural, and we kind of let them at their own demise or their own. So we gotta have more conversations around it, and you're right because think about it, bro. The level of exposure now is not like it was when we were coming up.
It's not. So that means we got to be more vocal.
Right.
We got to be more. We as fathers.
Right.
who OGs now, who they call Unc. I can't believe they call me Unc now.
Oh yeah.
They call Unc. We got to have these conversations because we got to be leaders, MJ. We got to stop looking at the woman and saying, "Woman, if you do this, if you got to do this, you got to do that." Let's look at ourselves and say, "Look, we're gonna control what we can control, and watch she would do what if we control what we can control, and we talk." See, the thing about Adam, he wasn't talking to Eve, MJ. He wasn't discussing her. He wasn't telling her no. He wasn't saying no. God told us not to do that. He wasn't telling her that. He just let her be. He just let her and the serpent be. What we got to start doing, we got to interject and get between that woman and that serpent. And how we do that, we hold ourselves accountable. Right. And by us holding ourselves accountable and saying, this is what we need to do. This is how we talk to our kids. This is what we standing on. I guarantee after a while that woman will see that and then she'll follow, bro.
Yeah, because think about it. I agree because this is why the system has tried to keep the man out of. They've tried every which way to keep the man from being the capable leader that he can be.
That's right.
So the system will try to keep you down and try to take the man out of it. So they understand what a strong lead. If men lead better,
if we lead better. Don't worry about that woman. Just lead.
We got to lead better.
My granddad used to say, take the lead. Just take the lead, bro. Don't say, if I take the lead, would you do this? Or I'm tired of you doing this. I'm the man. I'm supposed to take the lead. Just make a decision. Granddad always tell us, make a decision. We as men in this season need to make a decision to take the lead, regardless of the state of what the woman is doing. Because us trying to talk to the woman right now, when we're not fully taking the lead, it's not working.
So let me play devil's advocate. What about the man that is stripped away from his leadership? The man that cannot lead properly because of it could be single households. It could be in the system. It could be what I'm saying is what if he wants to lead, right? But he can't lead because of brick walls.
Well, when I say lead, you're always gonna have situations where you're gonna find singular situations.
Right.
What I'm saying when I say lead, we as men got to have these conversations that we're having today. Hold each other accountable as a whole.
Right.
And after a while, you'll start seeing the singular situations change and diminish.
Correct.
If we look in the mirror at each other and say, "Hey, man, that's not right." With that woman, I ain't talking about that woman. I'm talking about what you doing.
Right.
And what you doing is not right for a woman to be following you. Stop talking about her mouth and talking about this, that, and that, and that. What are you doing? But you sitting here, you looking at porno, you doing this, you doing that. You're not leading your boys in the right way. They being disrespectful. How can you sit here and talk about her mouth and make her mouth an excuse when you're not doing what you're supposed to do daily, bro? I think it's time for us to take that approach, MJ.
Right.
Look at each other as men. Hey, man, because before you go, if you think about it, in FD now day, I always say our community was better in FD recently day, where you had men leading.
Right.
Even though they had faults, but they understood we as men.
Right.
And see, in today's time, they don't like when we say we as men because they're trying to say we were not, well, I use however you say the word. They try to say, misogynistic and all that. They're trying to say that it's okay to say we as men who are taking control of our community in this season, holding each other accountable to build a good structure for our community, bro.
Correct.
I ain't worried about the woman in this season, MJ. It's time for us to not concentrate on the woman. Because this is what we just saw with that man and that boy. That means the next generation is going to follow what the past 2 generations been doing. So what are we going to do?
And let's be honest. And I'll say this: if the man lead right, the woman gonna follow, man.
Yes,
she gonna follow. So you know how they always say, start from the top to the bottom.
There you go.
And I know we are shorter in numbers, as far as men, but you're right,
Jay. But see, think about it. They were too, but then guess what? Those men during the day was such of a man and had such of a hold on the community, even the single mothers allow for the men who had families to go and discipline their kids. The ones, even the men that fell by the wayside, it was still a man in that community that can go in and give your child wisdom in some type of structure. Remember, FD came from a single parent household. There's so many men that we know, even women that we know, that have come to us and say, FD Reese was a father to me. Why? Because the mindset of the community as a whole.
Right.
We moved together as a community, and men were men.
Right. And that's
now
the
they're trying to change what men are and women are. Right. No.
But that's done by design. That's why I'm saying
that's right.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right in the total analysis. You're 100% right. We need to look at ourselves first, and take self-inventory on how we are leading, because it's gonna be an uphill battle, because they have put things into place like you said. We can't even say men no more. Now we can't even say men. Then you're talking about the system, how they have the motherhood. The government is all in their pockets and they're giving them all these benefits. So it's gonna be an uphill battle. But I agree with you. Yeah. If we start with ourselves and look in the mirror and say, "Hey, let's keep it 1,000, man. Men, we are dropping the ball. Our mindset has to change. We're not leading the next generation to where they need to be, because especially our young boys.
That's right.
Because where what a man go, the woman will follow, especially our young boys. Because the pretty much the girls gonna get in line when the men are leading right.
Yeah, that's right.
100%.
And another thing, MJ, we have to learn that you 40 and I'm 38. We got to learn that we might not see this until you 60.
Right.
Because a lot of people, put it in context. Remember, the Dallas County Voters League was revived in 1956. The Voting Rights Act didn't go through 7 through 65. It was 9 years later.
Right.
So what I'm saying, they understood it took time to bring structure.
Right.
So we got to understand it's not a conversation or something we're going to have in 6 months and think we're going to see change. It's almost like in 2008 when Barack Obama became president. He said it's going to get worse before it gets better. We got to understand it's going to continue to get worse before it gets better.
Correct.
We can take control over this 747 that's at a nosedive.
Right.
We got to get it leveled off first.
Right.
It's still descending in a nosedive. So we got to understand that it's gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? This is not a microwave. This is not the internet. This is old school. It's gonna take time to bring this change, but it's change that we gotta have, bro.
Right.
We gotta look at each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wrong with the men going. They got a passport, brothers and all that. Okay, whatever. I'm saying this right here. If we want to get the Black community back where the Black community needs to be, I used to say it got to be about family. I'm finna say right now, men got to hold the Adam in us accountable. It's just simple as that. The Adam in us needs to be held accountable. If the Adam in us does not get held accountable, we're going to continue to go down to the
We're going to continue to go down the rabbit hole, because they're going to continue to put the rappers on the pedestal and all of that. So it's going to be perpetuated that glorifying a certain lifestyle, and these kids going to be younger and younger, as we've seen on the video. They're going to be younger and younger glorifying a lifestyle that's only going to lead to their destruction and their demise, man. So
think about it, bro. If I know we have a lot of people on our podcast that follow us that believe in the word of God, and it's simple. If the men don't change and change the Adam in them, the rapping, the all the other stuff that the government has put out, it's the serpent. That's the serpent. That's a serpent, and they can continue to go after the woman because they know, hey, the woman. A lot of times, a woman walking in fear over their kids, over their kids. My baby got to be all right. My baby got to be. So they're gonna continue to get that serpent to press that woman, and as long as that man keep thinking about himself and keep feeding the Adam in him, we're gonna continue to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, you touched on something. That's the serpent, because The serpent can't first it listen, man, divide and conquer is that's one of the main things. So the serpent is what they're coming in, that they have came into our family like the serpent.
All day.
They have used different tactics to keep us divided and keep us in dysfunction. And so you're 100% right. We have to take back control. And we understand for us to take back control is going to take the men and the leaders to do it, because when you leave a woman to try to lead a community, she can't. She can't do it by herself.
She can't,
because men can't do it by herself.
No,
but it works better when the man is the leader, man.
That's right.
So
it works better when the man. Let me tell you something. Men have to be leaders. Have to be visionary, man. Let me tell you something. But in a woman, when the man gives the woman the vision, she's a great conductor.
Correct.
She's a great conductor.
Correct.
She'll lay that thing out. She would, bro. She's great at that in the day-to-day things. You know what I'm saying?
Let me read some of these comments. Oh yeah, Angel, appreciate that with the library address. I often speak when I'm in opposition on topics. I'm not going to say I wholeheartedly agree with everything stated. Men need to lead these boys the same way, especially in this season. You said a word to my Alan. Men are meant to lead. These are facts. Trisha said, I alluded to this on your last show. Part of our problem is we have to show children more images of success. You won't be a rapper or athlete, but you can be a rich lawyer, doctor, accountant, etc. I agree with that.
But he's right on that.
I agree with that.
We put it's too many. Tristan is right. The visuals of successful Black people are more so looked upon, and they show more athletes and rappers.
Yeah,
we have to give our kids, because we are in a visual season.
Right.
We have to give them more visuals of successful people that they don't see on TV. Like you just said, doctors, lawyers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Entrepreneurs. You have architects. You have so many other people who understand the stock market and all that. You have so many other things that you can do that you can be truly successful in and have a great life. We have to show those visuals to our kids and stop showing them all the rappers and the athletes.
And I want to say this. We're talking about the men. We're holding the men accountable, and we're part of that too. Holding ourselves accountable. We look in the mirror. We got to take back our community. It's up to us, the men, to lead. And I will say this to my ladies: if you have a man that is trying to lead and make an impact in his community, let him do it.
Let him do it.
Let him do it.
Take self out of it.
Let him go and do it. It's needed.
He's needed.
It's a selfless job. We understand, and a lot of the times it don't bring rewards. It don't bring a return, but it is needed, and it is very rewarding once you see that you have impacted someone in a great way, and they can always say, "Hey, that person made an impact in my life." And it made me make the right turn instead of the left one.
And man, MJ, you're right, bro. I remember Granddad's funeral. That Friday, the intimate setting in the fellowship hall at Ebenezer. Granddad, we talk about him inviting Dr. King, all the stuff he did, president this and teacher and all that. But the most thing that really touched me about my grandfather's life is the people he touched.
Yeah.
That's the most rewarding about my grandfather.
Yeah.
When I pass on one day, and that would happen, if I can have people say, Alan touched me, it's not about all the things that I did. But if people can come and say, man, that individual touched me. He did something to help me.
Correct.
He helped me in this way and that way in a personal level. That means more to me than anything that you can give me props about or what I probably did in life outside of touching people. And when you have men in the community who has a heart for their community, it takes a special woman.
Right.
See, we were blessed. We are blessed.
Right.
That we married the right women, MJ. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
We married the women that as we pour into them, they don't listen to the serpent.
Right. Right.
But see, and that's why I say it's very important the partner that you choose is because that partner has to have some type of heart that you have to give some of you away.
Yeah, and to touch on that, I remember interviewing when they were interviewing Grandma, we was doing a trailer.
That's
and,
right.
And as a matter of fact, it was Tristan. He was asking her question. Well, Mother Reese, how did you feel? You know, when Dr. Reese had to go out there and face on the dangers, and you know, and Grandma would say, I knew God would protect him. I just prayed the Lord protect him. And I knew Frederick, he wanted to do something, and I just stood behind him.
Yep.
And let him do it. And then he'll ask another question. Well, how did you feel, Mrs. Reese, when the bomb was thrown on the front porch and the sign and then the FBI came and said your husband on the hit list? Same thing. I just prayed God protect him and shield him, and he go out and do the work that he wanted to do.
That's
and
right.
See what that's the answers that Grandma was saying. Her stance spoke to me more.
Mm-hmm.
It's because she understood this man has a purpose. This is what's on his heart. God has called him to do it. I just pray the Lord protects him and bring him back home every night.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna stand behind him for his purpose.
That's right.
And it's no matter what it is. Of course, most people's purpose is not going to be as big as FD's when you're talking about impact on the world stage. But in the community, I know plenty coaches, barbers,
that's right,
landscapers.
Mm-hmm.
I know plenty of trash men. You know how many stores I've seen where the kids love to see the trash men come and pick up the trash and give them high five and stuff like that. Let that man walk in his purpose.
That's
because
right.
A lot of the times, I must say, a lot of the times that man ain't walking in his purpose because it's someone behind him that's keeping them from doing it.
That's right.
And so we as men, that's another part. Men, take your leadership. If that's your purpose, do it by any means necessary.
Because it's needed. It's
Point
needed.
blank.
It's needed.
And here we go with this freezing.
One, the doors of the church can close now.
I know, right? But yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate y'all joining us once again. We'll be back next Wednesday. Don't forget to come to the library tour. I'm gonna get an address one more time. It is Louise Watley Library at Southeast Atlanta, 1463 Pryor Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30315. Until next week, y'all have a good weekend and take care of each other. We'll see y'all next time.